This is Ashley of Knitting to Infinity, technical editor for knitting patterns and the designer of the pattern Little Mittens. I'm working on the hand now, and I'm ready to start my thumb gusset. On the previous round, I placed these markers here to show where I will be adding more stitches to make room for a thumb. So the pattern says the first thing I need to do is knit around until I get to the first marker. Now that I've reached the first marker, I am supposed to slip it. And now I see I only have one stitch in here for my thumb gusset so far. I'm going to begin adding to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is a right leaning increase. That means I'm going to make a stitch out of the right side of this one stitch that is already here. So to do that, I'm going to come down to this previous stitch that's under the one on the needle. With my left needle, I'm going to pick up the stitch below. So now the current stitch and the stitch below are on the needle together. I'm going to use my finger to keep them separated. When I'm making these increase stitches, because it's for a mitten, I want to make them twisted so that there won't be a hole there that could let in cold air. So for the right leaning increase, I'm going to twist it by not working through the front loop, but working through the back loop. I'll show you the back of my work here. I'm going to put my needle through the back of the stitch. And now I'm going to wrap the yarn and knit it. And there's the new stitch I just made. The other stitch is still on this needle, it hasn't been worked yet. Now I'm supposed to knit until I get to the marker. There's the next marker. Now it's time to make a left leaning increase, which means I'm going to make an increase on the left side of this stitch. So we see here where there is that bar of yarn running between the stitches. I'm going to go right above it and pick up this stitch that is below the one. I'll show that again. So there's the bar of yarn, and I'm going to pick up this lower stitch that's on top of that bar of yarn. So with the left leaning increase, you can see if I were to knit through the back, it would not be twisted. It would be big and open. So for this one, I'm going to knit through the front loop. So when you want to make a twisted stitch, basically whichever way feels the more difficult is the one you want to be doing. So I've made that increase, and now I slip the marker and I continue knitting to the end of the round. If you look here, I now have 3 stitches between my markers, where before I only had 1.